Yeah, rich to Nairobi, rich to Nairobi, rich to Nairobi. Josh, show us the light. This movement frenetic, the chi is kinetic. You know what's up, we just leveling up. Eternal life, children of light. Blessings upon you, the truth and the pride. Women heal earth, cherish your worth. Get us back on track like we birthed.
Welcome to SolSocial with Dr. Makeba and friends, the soul nourishing podcast that takes you on a journey of spirituality, self-discovery, and healing. I'm Dr. Makeba, and I'm thrilled to be your guide on this metamorphic path toward embracing your purpose, trusting your intuition, and igniting your inner light. In this episode, I'm joined by a couple of old friends and a couple of new friends who each strive to make a positive impact in every life they touch. We have Kadijah Kemp, an educator, professional counselor, and healer who advocates against gun violence and helps to heal traumas. Tiffany Grant, a licensed professional counselor as well, and a Reiki practitioner who helps individuals connect with their highest selves through traditional counseling coupled with energy work. We have Camron Shelton, an artist, entrepreneur, and wellness coach, and last but not least, Tommy Fuquan Washington, an emerging energy, artist, and compassionate caregiver. Join us as we aim to shed light on the importance of trusting your inner voice. As you listen to this episode, I invite you to reflect on your own experiences of ignoring or trusting your intuition, your gut feeling, that voice in your head. While doing so, consider the impact of cultural and personal traumas on your ability to listen to that voice. All right, let's talk. Hello. This is Dr. Makeba, and I'm super excited about this topic today because we are talking about listening and trusting your gut, your intuition, that voice of God in your head. It's very hard sometimes when you don't have physical proof, physical evidence, when you're beating up on yourself to really figure out if this is the devil on your shoulder or the angel on your shoulder. So we are going to have a chat about that with some of my really good friends. Everybody on the show today has a story for you about that voice in their head that sometimes they just don't trust. But we know what happens when we don't trust that voice, and we're going to talk about that. Kadijah, please introduce yourself.
My name's Kadijah Kemp, and I am an educator at DCPS, and I go way back with Dr. Makeba, all the way back to high school.
And scooping ice cream at Baskin Robbins.
And Baskin Robbins. I was going to say, and Baskin Robbins. She's my manager, so we go way back to teen years, and I'm happy to be here.
I'm happy to have you. She's just such a beautiful spirit. She's been through a lot, and she's come a long way, so I'm really happy to have her with us today. Tiffany, please introduce yourself.
Well, hello. I am Tiffany Grant. I'm a licensed professional counselor. I work at the VA with veterans, and I also work at a private practice, so I do individual, couples, and group counseling. I'm really enjoying this space. I'm looking forward to this conversation, and I'm glad to be here.
I'm so glad to have you. This young lady here leads with her heart. She's got the biggest, sweetest heart, and I'm so glad to know her. Cameron, go ahead and introduce yourself.
All right, my name is Camron Shelton. I'm 20 years old. I'm an audio engineer, a producer, poet, artist, rapper, singer, everything. I play the keyboard, I play the clarinet, and I'm learning how to play the acoustic guitar. Any genre there is, I make music in that. I was in school, but I'm not in school anymore. I work at Delta. Me and Miss Makeba actually met through Reiki, and I learned how to do Reiki through her.
That's right. Reiki was my introduction to spirituality because it got me connected to the energy body that's in me. I definitely recommend it to all of y'all out there in the world. Learn it, even if it's just self-care, because it really helps to open you up and keep you balanced. I would add just one more thing about Camron. He is so smart that he was like, high school, I'm done. I'm not doing you for too long. He got it done real quick. How quick did you get high school done?
1 year.
1 year.
What? You was out. You were like, nope.
And we've talked about this on our previous shows that claircognizance is a thing. It's a clear knowing. And this young man knows a lot. So he's able to get through things as Good questions. I admire him, and I'm so happy that he is embracing his spirituality and running with it. He is a superstar.
To expand on what you said, I'm not trying to brag, but when I was in third grade, I was already reading on the eighth grade level, and I read the almanac. I started reading almanacs back then. I was read the almanac for 2008 and 2009, which I have right here actually.
Almanacs are
Awesome.
fun to read. I read every almanac back in 1989 and 1990. So you read an almanac, you're a nerd. That's good with me. Okay.
Tommy Fuquan
But
Washington, please,
okay.
last but not least, please introduce yourself.
Okay, yo, I am Tommy Fuquan Washington, also known as Fu. Everybody calls me Fu. I have known Makeba. She is an HBCU friend. She's FAMU, and I'm an Aggie. And I met her through my Aggie friends right after undergrad in Atlanta. I am going on a spiritual path where I am rebuilding myself. Makeba was around to watch my early rise in career. I used to work in media, producer, editor, writer, poet, but I was trapped in a lot of misery and a lot of hurt and a lot of pain. And I've had a complete breakdown. I had 10 years of darkness as well. And now I'm rebuilding my life. I work with intellectually disabled men. I am a caseworker, care manager, unlicensed nurse. I love these guys. They help me recover. I'm also trying to decide, am I going to go a nurse prac route? Am I going back in the media? I don't know. I'm opening myself up to the universe and I'm letting it decide. There's a lot of spiritual things that are happening for me right now in downloads. Honestly, I don't even know what Reiki is because I always heard people who are on this call talking about Reiki. You know what I mean by that? When I was experiencing yoga, it was hard to learn yoga from white people. Let's just say that. And so I couldn't do Reiki learning from white people. This is not your culture. Why are you telling me this?
Hold on. We don't want to exclude any people. We don't want to exclude white.
No,
There is a thing. I hear this a
it's
lot from people of color talking about going to energy healers, Reiki
yeah.
practitioners, any kind of healer. It's not a black and white thing. It's really an energetic thing because you can sense energy when you walk into the room, when you meet a person, when you feel, and you know who's got the good energy that you want to work with and who doesn't. So we want to try to focus on the energy. So I understand culturally that
Mm.
Americans teaching yoga is not the
It,
traditional, right? We didn't create it. So it's a
well,
little harder to take it.
it's
Okay.
hard when trying to go into those spaces because that's the thing is also recovering from going into a traumatic space where it wasn't this way and trying to get from that trauma where I can open myself up again to hear everybody. Because sometimes when we go into those spaces, we experience trauma based on our identity and our cultural heritage. And that's more what I'm talking about. You know, it's a trust factor and it's an ease and trust.
Right, right. I'd like each of you to share a moment when you didn't listen to your gut. Tell us a little bit about that. What happened and what you learned from it. My example is with my marriage. I won't go into too many details, but I'll say simply that I kind of had a feeling going in that I probably shouldn't do it. I was young, not that young. I was approaching 30, which is a pivotal point in time for a young lady because you're thinking your biological clock is ticking.
Mm.
You're willing to kind of compromise a little bit on what you're looking for. And when I met my ex husband, I needed a companion, a relationship. I had just gotten out of a relationship that was everything to me. It was extreme love and affection and all that stuff. And we broke up. What I was looking for was a more mature love, I thought. When we were dating, he never declared me as his girlfriend, which I thought was weird and didn't feel right. And then I got pregnant, and then we got engaged, and we got married. During that whole period, I was hearing things and feeling things in my gut like, this isn't right. Maybe you shouldn't do this or don't do it. And I was in my head like, who's saying this? Is it me, the doubter? Or is it truly my angels trying to protect me from something that could harm me in the long run. It took me 18 years, 19 years, really, if you count the time that we were dating, to truly figure out that I should have listened to that voice because I was right. And nothing changed. It was a consistent kind of not quite good feeling for that whole time. So I learned to listen. It took me a long time, but I learned to listen and to trust. I would like to hear what you all have to say.
So mine is very recent and I'm still going through it. Now I don't know if it were me not listening to my inner voice or if it was just a warning. It's changing day by day. I'm an avid scooter and biker in New York. I love riding scooter. I may be about to do some things on social media with doing that. I ride a scooter like a snowboarder. I'm crazy. I do a lot of things in Manhattan. It's fun. So I'm leaving work the other morning. I work overnight, 14 hours. I just want to get to the subway and go home to go to sleep. And that is all I was focused on. So I pulled out of the driveway, did a crazy U-turn like a snowboarder, and I slipped and fell on the leaves after a fresh rain on top of oil. And the way I was turning was really tight. So the scooter went like this and slammed me into the ground. And when I hit the ground, I knocked out my tooth because my face took all the impact. So I have one tooth in my front mouth. Now I'm toothless. What wound up happening is a few days before that, I bust that move a few times. I almost fell twice doing that move of the prior week. I also noticed all the leaves on the ground like a week before. I'm part of this Reddit group. Everyone's talking about how much the leaves are on the ground, how many leaves are there, and how scared everyone is. I didn't listen. I'm still doing that move. As a matter of fact, I almost like really wiped out in front of my own house with kids on the playground. And I recovered. But I just wanted to get home and I wanted to go. And a little backstory, I have always had dental issues. I've always had spacing. And it's always been my albatross. I never did on-camera things because I was scared about my teeth. Kids used to call me the Gap Man and saying you dropped the bomb on me when I was a little kid. I had trauma years over years, and people kept joking me about it. Then after I had my breakdown, I didn't have insurance anymore. I went to a dentist and she snatched both my teeth out when a porcelain fell out. So everything shifted. So long story short, I've been avoiding this forever. My dental issues are the last thing I wanted to deal with right now. I had a plan. It was my feet, my stomach, my teeth. I'm on my feet. We're done. I wasn't ready for this yet. What I'm thinking now is at first I wasn't listening to my intuition, but perhaps this was just my spirit and my ancestors warning me that you're about to have to deal with something that you haven't wanted to deal with your whole life. You're about to have to deal with something that has held you back from day one. This was bigger than race. This was bigger than my gender. This was bigger than anything. This stopped me, all my potential. I mean, when I worked in media, I could have easily been in front of the camera. People told me to do it. I worked in radio. I have a radio voice. I wanted to be in front of the camera, but I let my own fear around my dental issue stop me. And then I let my fear of the financial cost stop me because that was the other fear. But the other morning, when I saw my tooth on the pavement, I sat there and I started to unravel. I knew instantly that I got to deal with this right now because there was no other option. And the spiritual world had me in the right place because I didn't wipe out at home because I would have read in my house, closed my curtains, text my job, called off, text more people, canceled. And I may have been going back into my maladaptive behavior because that was my primary emotional trigger. So God had me at work with one of my temps who I just had an argument with. I literally just went in on this woman. And this person had to show me kindness. She saw me at my weakest, most vulnerable, emotional point. And I had to get it together in 90 seconds because the next thing I did was pull out my laptop and look for an emergency dental ER. So now I'm getting an implant in 2 weeks. I don't know how I'm going to do the money. I don't know. I don't care. I'm trusting in the universe. It's going to happen. And things have been going well for me. I'm trusting.
The other piece is that you are on camera with a missing tooth.
Right. That's why I did it. That's why I'm here. You pressed me for this. Look, we spoke about this, and then you asked me to do it this week. I was
Yeah.
like, Brooke, my tips, are you serious right now? I have other Zoom commitments, and the other Zoom commitments have been done just like that. You actually got me on here right now. So, and I spoke about this too because I use this as an opportunity to work through and validate and narrate my trauma.
Yeah.
Because the more I narrate this trauma, the better, the more it's healing. And spiritually, I think it was a warning because I'm free. Oh my God, I'm free. This thing that I've been scared of, I was in the dentist.
Yeah.
I'm in there now. Might as well deal with everything. And now, this is how I can be on the camera now because I got slammed to the ground. And sometimes the ancestors got to slap me. You can
That's
kind of
right.
see I'm that guy. I feel it like it was a warning because it's like they're warning me that you better get your mind right. You told me to rest up 2 weekends ago.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's coming. This is just part of the journey. I'm sorry.
I love this because when we spoke earlier this week, the conversation was different.
Right. It's evolving.
It's very different. It evolves. And so we get these messages from God, from the spirits, from our ancestors, and we don't always know what they mean, but we have to understand that things happen for a reason. And look, and
Yes.
that's one of the reasons I'm not mad at my ex-husband is because I know that marriage happened for a reason. There was a lesson to be had. Like I should have listened to my gut, and had I known what I know now, I wouldn't have gotten to that situation. But I know that I got in that marriage because I need to be able to teach people not to do that, to listen to their guts. You know what I mean? So, all right, we're going to move on to our
Right.
next guest.
I'll go next. I was single for a year. I didn't want to date or anything, and then my best friend passed. I was going through a lot. I met this gentleman, and while we were talking, my intuition kept saying, don't do it. Don't pursue him. But then in my mind, I'm like, well, he's cute. I would just put things on paper. Sometimes I look at it as, is it my intuition or is it fear? Because I was not in a relationship for a year, and then the relationship before was like 3 years. And I'm like, okay, am I just fear going to relationships? So I kind of chop it up, oh, just fear. I'm going to prove to the world that I'm not scared. Fast forward, the relationship was a lot of stress. I had to put some color in my hair because I ended up getting with gray hair.
Show that gray, girl. Show that gray.
I would say before I started dating him, I didn't have much gray, but then after it, it was a lot of gray up there. It was a lot of stress. It led to me to start drinking. So I did a lot of self-soothing. And my gut, my intuition just kept saying, you need to leave. I mean, it wasn't like abusive or anything like that, but it's just like, we just didn't clash. So fast forward, now mind you, I'm 40 and never been married. So this year I found out he went to my parents and asked for my hand in marriage. So I'm like, I'm just so excited. But then my intuition's like, nope, don't do it. And I'm like, no, well, maybe I'm just afraid because I've never been married before. So I just kept, I mean, it was so strong. They're like, don't do it. I'm like, no, I just kick it off as fear. You know, I'm just a little afraid. It is what it is. I never been married, so I can understand. I could tell that my spirit team really didn't want me to marry him because we had a dog together. And the dog and I both got attacked by a pit bull while I was walking him. He was 6 weeks old. During that time, he wasn't there for me and everything just went downhill. So looking back now, I'm glad that they intervened because I feel like there's something bigger and better out there and we don't want you there. But then I looked at him like, okay, I should have listened to my gut. It wasn't fear. It was my inner voice telling me not to move forward. I'm not upset about not listening to it because it led me into my spiritual journey. It led me into establishing new friendships and just be able to learn more about me and my reason for being here. I'm not knocking it, but okay, if I would have listened to my gut, what would that journey look like? Or what would that look like if I wouldn't?
Yeah. It just affirms the power of the gut and the intuition and the connection with the spirit because they do really try to connect with us, and we have to try to listen a little bit more, a little bit closer, and have conversations with the spirits and be like, what is the problem?
Oh, now me and my spirit team talk every day. It's even to the point where I remember another thing, and I'll be gone. So I bought another Amazonite bracelet because the other one broke. And then my tuition was telling me, give it to your sister. I was like, oh, it's so pretty. Give it to your sister. So I was like, well, let me just hold on for another day. Well, one thing I've learned is that whenever I don't follow it, I always stuck my right toe. So then I looked it up and I prayed, and it was like, you need to listen. So once I gave it to her, I didn't have any more issue. So I'm learning to trust and also the whole thing with my relationship, I would stub my toe all the time. And I remember there was this lady, she did Reiki, and I think she was a clairaudience. And she said, every physical symptom that you have, because I also tore my ACL, she said it has a connection to the spirit world. So if you stub your right toe, it's a reason for that. I remember when I tore my ACL, it was a reason why I did it, because I wasn't listening, wasn't moving forward to the reason why I needed to be here. It was the spirit world telling me I'm actually blocking myself from moving forward. So make a long story short, I'm now like, okay, I'm listening. I hear you. What do you need me, because I don't want to keep bruising my toes and stuff.
So I hear you. Listening is very important. And I do think that that's a very good segue into Kadijah's story.
Well, I was going to say 2 kids later, I didn't follow my intuition. But I think as women, like you said, Tiffany, we have fear due to our previous experiences. So a lot of times when it comes to our intuition, we have doubt because we don't know if it's our conscious or if it's reservation. I listen to my intuition when it comes to things like my career and other things. But when it comes to relationships, I don't listen. I'm currently dating someone. I keep hearing full of shit. He seems like a good guy. We have fun. We've only been out on 2 dates. But you know how someone wants to promise you the world so quick? He's already talking marriage and all types of things.
After 2 dates?
Yes. And you know me, I'm like, pump the brakes. Listen, I've been single a long time, but I just listen. I kiki. And he asked me, do you think I'm a jester? Because I keep laughing because I don't know how to react. That's my defense mechanism. I don't know if it's me because all my friends are in relationships and I feel like I give guys a hard way to go. It's not that I have a list or anything, but I just don't feel like wasting my time. The older you get, you know what you want, you know what you're looking for. So I'm still dating him, but I don't know. My intuition is telling me keep it moving.
You know what I think? I think you should keep it moving. I think you should listen.
But he's a nice guy. But you know, one thing that I don't like, you know how sometimes somebody will say, oh, I'm going to call you back. Or they say, oh, I'm going to meet you when they don't follow through. And then they say, oh, I thought you was going to call me. It seems like he puts a lot of blame onto me when he doesn't do something.
That's the beginning of the gaslighting. Cut
like
him.
He doesn't call me back. And he's like, why you didn't call me back?
That's the mind games.
It was like little things. And I'm like, it's just a small period of time. We met at the Giants bar. I live in Maryland and he's from Jersey. He's down here for a job assignment.
Yes.
And we actually met at the bar. He wants to count that as a mini date. I'm like, sir, the little voice is like, girl, go ahead and enjoy some food. Enjoy these kiki moments. Right. Get out, you know? Then the other side of me is like, just stay home and watch some Netflix because you know this man is full of shit. I mean,
Kadijah, we've talked about this too. You have to stop, and we all have to stop beating ourselves up, second guessing ourselves, and letting ourselves sabotage ourselves. You are not too analytical. You are not too critical. You are just the way you need to be to get through this path that God has put you on. So trust that. Trust that. Now, Camron, you're developing relationships. You're learning to trust your inner voice and all of that. And our first Reiki session was all about trusting what you hear, trusting your gut. And so I just want to hear from you where you are in that journey. How are you feeling?
I'm doing great now, actually. I always would hear the word intuition, and I'm a big music person. I used to hear that song by Jamie Foxx, Intuition, and I never knew what it meant. So I want to start off about 2 years ago. I was hanging out with the wrong people. I would go around them every single day, and I would feel my gut hurting and like my gut feeling funny. I was like, do I have to use the restroom? Maybe I got to use the restroom. But I didn't have to use the restroom. Even if I did use the restroom, after I used the restroom, I was still my gut hurting. I get around them and I wouldn't feel comfortable. I wouldn't feel right. I did that every day for about 5 months straight. smoking weed every day, spending. I was just doing everything I wasn't supposed to be doing. And my parents knew, and they told me, you're going to end up somewhere you don't want to be. They both told me. So one day I was supposed to be at work. I took the day off. This was right when the coronavirus first started. My gut was hurting, and some boys who said they were my friend said they had a car. I had somebody I knew who had a license, a grown up, take me over to where they were. And he had took me to the place that they were, and they had a car. Now, the person who was driving, I didn't know like that. I didn't know how old he was. He was 14 years old. I was 18. Everybody in the car was younger than me. Turns out they stole the car. They drove me to a place where I didn't know where I was at, but they knew where they was at. They all ran. And all of them went to juvenile, and I went to county jail for 38 days.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm sitting in jail. I'm thinking like, dang, I should listen to my parents. Yeah, I'm just thinking about everything. And that's the first time I actually built my relationship with God, because he came at the right time. Mm-hmm. My intuition was telling me these people didn't do nothing for you when you got in here. They didn't contact you. They didn't put no money on your books. They didn't do anything for you. So when you get out here, stop hanging around them. So young me, as a young person, stayed hanging around them. But I ended up bettering my life and going to college. So it kept me away from them for a while. Now, within that time period, I got with this girl. I knew she was a drama-fied person, but I was scared of being alone because I was alone for a long time. I was scared of being alone due to trauma. So with this girl, my intuition told me she was cheating. It led me to the person she was cheating with. Through my dreams, I had never seen a dude, and it even told me that they was going to have a baby. I have an apartment at the time, and I come out the room and I see the dude. I'm like, hold up, this can't be real. I walked in the room, and boom, I walked in on them. Nothing really bad happened after that. I just had to stop hanging around them because they weren't good for me. All of them have, my spirits were telling me that they have very dark souls. I stopped hanging around them. All of them started acting very strange, and I don't have any contact with them to this day. I should have trusted my intuition. Even then, I did something I shouldn't have done with the girl who cheated on me. My spirit told me that I need to contact her. I contacted her, and it turns out she had something she was dealing with that she couldn't let go of. So we broke that attachment.
Yeah. And you did say she was pregnant, right?
Yes, she is pregnant.
So your whole dream came true.
She's 6 months pregnant, and she asked me to be the stepfather, but I'm not that guy.
It should never be yes. I don't even know why you asked.
The beautiful part here is that Camron is learning how to truly hear and see and feel and act on the messages that he's getting from his spirit guides, God, the ancestors, etc. Because he's always had these gifts. It just wasn't fully clear what he should do with that information. It's a thing that's developing. And I love that you mentioned that you didn't know what intuition meant. So the language, we have to be very clear with people, especially our children as they're growing up. If something doesn't feel right or sit well in your stomach,
right,
that's intuition. Like if you go around this adult and this adult makes you feel queasy, tell mommy.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Tell mommy, tell daddy, or whatever. And we will make sure that you don't have to be with that person anymore if you don't feel right around them. And we need to talk to our children about their dreams. We need to talk with our children about their imaginary friends. These imaginary friends, they are spirits. And because the children are so close to the creator, they haven't had a chance to be tainted and blinded by all this human stuff. They're very connected. That's why young people have these connections. We should not deter them from having those relationships. We should have them explore them.
Let me just add, because I work with the intellectually disabled, they are very tied in as well. One of my clients, she has a ghost. His name is George. He looks at her at night. He scares her. He's always looking at her with the demon eyes. One of the things I tell Helen is just tell George, I have no time for you, because George scared her. So that may be part of my spiritual power. I work with Helen a lot. And since I've been working with Helen, and I basically tell George to F off. She gets up and she's happy in the morning.
I love y'all. I feel like I learned so much when I talk to you, and I hope that our listeners are learning as well. I want them to know that they can reach out to us because we're here to help, to share. We are all one. We're better together. Thank you for joining the conversation. You can take action by embracing the power of your intuition and actively listening to your inner voice. Take time to truly reflect on past experiences and learn from those moments when you ignored your gut feeling. Practice trusting your intuition in everyday life. This will help to cultivate a deeper sense of self-awareness and alignment with your true path. Let us learn, grow, and inspire one another on this beautiful journey of self-discovery and healing. Love and light, y'all. Catch you on the next episode.
Come on, yeah. Rich to Nairobi, rich to Nairobi, rich to Nairobi. Josh, show us the light.